I'm going to say something that I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Only this is going to matter to you. Al, when we began this illustrious journey through Original Love Live,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I was imagining there was going to be a point where you were going to get very mad.
I mean, I didn't expect there to be a point where I got very mad, but here we are.
Here we are.
Oh, so mad.
Welcome to the penultimate episode of Season 1. This is episode 12 of Jared and Al Watch Love Live. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
And we are, like I said, discussing the penultimate episode of Season 1. It's called Friends. It's like the Friends song. I Is there a Love Live version of the Friends opening? There has to be. I'm looking this up.
Oh my god.
We gotta have some sort of like fun before we get into like the dark stuff of this episode.
God.
There is.
Is question
Oh,
mark?
there's a sunshine version of it.
Oh snap. God.
I will send that to you after we record this.
All right, please do.
But yes, hello. We are discussing the penultimate episode, where last episode Hanukkah friggin' collapsed after their first song of their performance at the school festival,
Yep.
and she's no longer with us. Rip in peace. That is the end of Love Live. Thank you for joining us. That's it.
Rip honk.
So yeah, everyone kind of crowds around her. They're like, "Oh God, she passed out." I was like, "Oh God, she's burning up." Her sister comes up on stage and is like, "Oh no." They do the smart thing of being like, "Hey, we've had an incident. Give us some time. Give us some space while we try and figure this out."
Yeah, that was smart.
Mm-hmm.
Hanukah's
Katori,
like, hey, we could do the song now. It's fine.
Katori and Umi basically help her up and to like get her out of here essentially, and Nico's like, "Are we gonna keep going? We gotta keep going. We need to do this if we're gonna stay for Love Live." Nozomi's like, "Yeah, Honoka is not gonna be able to perform. We can't continue.
Yeah.
We're kind of done for now." And that basically puts an end to that. We kind of cut to a few days after the fact where the rest of Muse goes to visit Honoka, and they find out she's on the road back to recovery and everything.
She's really excited because Maki made her a piano CD.
She her sickness is kind of gone, and her leg was only sprained after she fell. But the rest of the group tells her that they have decided to pull out of the Love Live rankings, and they will not be performing at Love Live, as they have forfeited essentially.
And it was their decision plus the Katori's mom.
Yeah, the principal. Honoka's like, "Oh, this is all my fault, guys." Everyone's like, "No, it's not your fault. Everything, blah blah blah," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of bummed out about it. Honoka is very bummed out about it.
There's a part where like her sister comes in to check on her and she's like, "Why won't you answer me?" And she opens the door and Hanukkah is just like sobbing over the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because she eventually like looks at the ranking and is just like, "Oh God, we're not there."
George is there though.
Good old George.
George. Who's their idol group? George.
Smart people, clearly.
All lowercase George.
It's very memorable.
You're right.
So Hanukkah eventually goes back to school. They all kind of decide to go to practice again. They're kind of like acting like everything's okay. Katori's still bummed out because she has not told Hanukkah about her decision, which her thing is that she is basically has the opportunity to study abroad. Only Umi knows this. Only Umi knows this at this point, and she's still trying to find a way to talk to Hanukkah about it. While they're on the rooftop, the first years bust through the door and like, "Help us!" And the thing is, hey, the school's been saved.
Yep.
The school will
safe.
remain open for at least another year.
They have applications.
They have applications and everything. They have a party. They're all having a fun time. And then Umi and Kotori are kind of by themselves, and you can tell like something's wrong, but they're not saying anything. Kotori's like, I can't do it. And Umi's like, all right, well, I'm going to tell them what you can't say. She's like, hey, by the way, Kotori's leaving in 2 weeks. She got accepted to go to a school abroad. She's going to go study there. She didn't want to tell you because of the festival and everything, so she wanted to wait till afterwards. But obviously, things kind of took a turn, and that kind of made things a little awkward.
Yep.
So everyone's real bummed about it. Honoka gets
Yep.
because she's like, why didn't you tell me? We are best friends. Why did you not tell me this? Why did you hide this from me? And Kotori's like, you were so determined and everything to do the festival and everything. I wanted to tell you, but I just never found the time. And then I was going to wait till after the performance and everything. And obviously you got sick and all this. And I didn't do it and everything and blah, 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 blah. And she runs away.
Yeah.
Umi's like, yeah, Kotori had a hard time trying to figure out what to do. And she wanted to get your advice and everything, but then she never asked you about it.
Yeah.
So things get awkward basically between everyone. Honoka later sends like an apologetic message to Kotori, basically being like, hey, I didn't know. I was unaware you were going through this. I'm sorry I didn't see it. And I wish we could have talked about this earlier, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
She then like watches a performance of Arise doing Private Wars on her laptop, and is just like, yeah, I can't reach their level. They are so much better than us. Like we're not gonna reach them. So the next day she goes to the roof and is like, they're like, oh hey, we're gonna do one more live before Kotori leaves and everything, and Honoka's like,
the last one is 9 members.
What?
The last one has 9 members.
Yes. The final full group muse of performance before Kotori leaves. Honoka's basically like, hey, it's my fault that everything happened. If it wasn't for me going too hard, none of this would have happened. And they're like, oh no, don't say that and everything. And then Honoka's like, but really, what's the point? We saved the school, so we're done. We've accomplished our goal. We don't need to keep going. And it's like, wait, what do you mean? Nico is like the one who gets like the most upset.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, you better not be saying what I think you're saying, because if you say so, I'm going to lose all respect for you. Like, I joined because of you. I joined because I saw your determination and everything. I joined because I knew you were taking this seriously. And Honoka then is basically like, I'm done. I'm quitting. That's it. She goes to leave. Umi slaps her because reasons, and then calls her like the worst person ever, which is real messed up.
Yeah.
And that's how our episode ends. Let's break down this episode in particular, because
there's a lot.
There is a lot. Like, we were discussing this when we were watching the episode. Like, Honoka is not in the wrong at all in this entire situation.
No, and like early on, after they tell her like, oh hey, we withdrew, and she's upset about it, rightly so. And they're like, oh, I don't know why she's still acting all mopey and da 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 da. And it's like, because you didn't consult her on, didn't even let her in on the decision. You just made it without her while she was sick. Like, that's not fair.
Which, especially because she's the leader.
They voted her as the leader.
That was their decision, and then they come up with this whole very groundbreaking decision that is going to affect the entire group to withdraw from Love Live, and they're like, yeah, we don't need to involve her.
Yeah.
That's super messed up. And then for them to be like, well, why is she still moping about it? It's like, you didn't involve her. You didn't let her have a voice in this. Like, clearly she probably would have been like, hey, let's keep going. Let's keep doing this. And then you were like, nah, dog, we're going to cut your legs out from under you. And then the whole thing with Kotori happens, which is, to be fair, a giant misunderstanding. Yeah. But Kotori never follows through with, like, telling her. Right. So, like, that's not on Honoka again.
But again, like they blame Hanukkah for it because they're like, oh, you were just too focused on the performance. You were too focused on the festival. You didn't notice. And it's like, it is not her fault.
It's
you
not.
guys told her to focus that hard. You guys put that pressure on her. And then, like, it's also not her responsibility to make Katori say things to her. Like,
Exactly.
If Katori really, like, respected her and wanted her opinion, then she has to say it.
She has to go through with it, yeah. And then basically for everyone to get mad at her for quitting, like, how would you not see this coming when you've literally thrown the rug out from under her twice in a row now and basically just broken her spirits in such a way that, like, of course she's going to give up.
I mean, not only, like, have they done that, but they've just, like, continuously excluded her. So why would you want to continue on with this group that's like, all right, well, we don't need her?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to.
She has every right to be like, hey, I'm done.
Yeah. I like legit the entire time we were watching this, I was like, Hanukkah did nothing wrong. And I was so mad at everybody else because they were just like nonchalantly acting like she was just like a big like moron for being upset.
It's weird because like the show in a way is like trying to paint her as like a bad person for doing this, but it's clear like no, she literally, like, if you want to put anything on her, like, hey, she did overtrain, she got herself sick, she got herself in a situation that was bad, but at the same time none of the other members took her aside and were like, hey, you should slow down a bit, especially because they put that initial pressure on her to begin with.
Right.
And then they're like, well, let's pull the rug out from under you by doing this big decision. Let's pull the rug out from you by having this whole thing with Katori happen at the same time, essentially. And then let's get all mad at you for wanting to be like, guys, I'm done. Like, screw this.
But also for, like, rightfully mourning her opportunity to perform in Love Live with her friends. Like,
yeah,
she has every right to be upset about that. And, like, they made the decision. They
took that opportunity away from her. Like, this was not something that she herself failed at. This is not a failure on her part.
No.
This is just something that was forcefully taken away from her without her consent.
It felt, and I texted you this, like, it really felt like cliquish and bullying. They're like, oh, you're the odd man out here. You're the one who did everything wrong. Like, you should feel bad.
Yeah.
And she didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Oh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Ugh.
Like we were discussing this, Nico still has has part of the blame for this because she is still involved with everyone who basically took that decision away from Hanukkah. At the same time, I think she also has a right to be mad at Hanukkah because this is her final chance to get to Love Live.
Yeah.
Like, she has no other options. Like, she is desperate at this point, and she's finally found a group that takes things as seriously as she does. She has finally found, like, peers that, like, respect her and treat her in the same way that she would want to be treated by everyone else with regard to, like, being an idol and, like, wanting to, like, having the same drive and determination that she does. And to, like, have that person, like, she found, like, this is the one person who finally is, like, taking this seriously as well as I am. To basically have them kind of, like, quit on you is essentially to her is, like, she's, like, Hanukkah is spitting in Nico's face. Like, this is incredibly insulting to her. So, like, while, like,
but after Nico, everybody else has spit into Hanukkah's face.
Yeah. So, like, it's like Nico still has part of the blame for this, but, like, I think Nico has every right to be mad as well. But again, like, both her and Hanukkah have 100% right to be mad for various different reasons in this episode. But at the same time, like I said, Nico still has to shoulder some of the blame for putting Hanukkah in the spot that she's in. Yeah,
and I mean, the thing that was really, really upsetting to me, and I also texted this to you while it was going on, is that they basically were, like, gaslighting her to make everything her fault. Or, like, it was not in the way that she thought that everything went down. And I'm like, that's not okay. Like, that's straight up abusive behavior. And then to literally slap her when she didn't do anything and call her the worst person ever, like, absolutely not.
Very excessive.
It's very excessive. Like, everybody ganged up on her for no reason. And that was not okay. And I legitimately texted you. I was like, every other member of Muse can get. Hanukkah did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm. So
I
yeah,
was so mad.
This is the turning point for Al with Love Live.
It's insane because I wasn't expecting this, and I don't know that I've ever been this level of angry at an anime before. Like when it wasn't a like, oh god, this is like a bad anime and I'm really upset that I wasted time on this. This was like an emotional, angry type thing. And I don't usually get like that when it comes to shows. It was gross.
Shocking.
Just really gross.
You want to hear some notes?
Yeah.
To change the subject?
Sure.
Oh, by the way, it's about the slap.
Oh, God.
This is the first time a slap scene is used in Love Live, obviously. The second slap will come in Love Live Sunshine's episode Young Dreamer, where Mari slaps Kanan near the end of the episode. A more justifiable slap.
Yeah.
Because she's slapping the villain.
Yeah, she is.
Man, like, so...
This also doesn't call her the worst person ever.
Yeah. This might have come out by this point, or it might still be in the works. I'm going to try and do like a big kind of like thing about Sunshine, like episode by episode, like a big writing thing. And I've been taking notes about each episode I've been watching. And man, it is hard not to argue that Kanan is the villain of that series. For those first 4 episodes, like
You're
first
right.
few episodes, like the first episode, like when Chika mentions being an idol, she very much like stops, changes the subject very quickly. She helps out Rico basically because like it's not an idol thing, just because hey, that's Chika's friend, I'll help her out. And then once the second years do their performance, she literally does nothing. She stands outside and watches and leaves before Chika even finishes her final speech.
Mm-hmm. Kanan is the villain of Sunshine for the first part of it.
Mm-hmm. There you go. But anyways, we have one more episode of season 1 to get through.
We do.
And that is season 1, episode number 13, entitled Muse's Music Start. So we'll talk about that next time. We'll wrap up season 1.
And me being angry.
Yep. So if you'd like more from us, go to seasonalcheckup.com or scc.co, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonal Checkup and Seasonal Checkup. Oh, yay! Yay!
Hey!
And you can find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. And you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. So next time, join us for the season 1 finale.
Yep.